listeners. Welcome to the Path You Take podcast, where the path you take is the path you make. Today, I'm joined by Brother Alireza. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. Nice to meet you.
Thank you for coming to the podcast, brother. Really
Sure.
appreciate it. If you care to share with the audience, so what is it exactly that you do?
So I'm a senior data scientist working at the research and analytics team in Technical Safety BC. So we are working on both structured data, so the data that citizens have to predict the risk for our citizens, and also unstructured data like text, voice to process them and get better, more insight regarding what client needs to do and how we can serve the citizens the best.
So, how did you find yourself taking a career in this specific area?
Yeah, good question, because by major I'm mechanical engineer. So I got my mechanical engineering 20 years ago, and I got my master in mechanical engineering 20 years ago. It was on parallel robotics.
Yeah.
So I had good mathematical background. And then I grew in the organization, and I was operation manager at some point in time. And then I decided to learn more management. So I got a degree of DBA, so-called Doctorate of Business Administration. And then I immigrated to Canada like 10, 11 years ago.
Okay.
And then I studied another master in Montreal University. And there I got familiar with AI.
Okay.
And all the statistics and AI ML models, because Montreal is a hub for AI. And the reason we have a professor named Yasha Benjao, I went to some of his classes and his student classes, and I just saw something in AI back then. So I just educate myself gradually, self-learn, take some courses, and then apply in my work, and then transit from a data or BI analyst to a data scientist.
Okay, so you're quite familiar with AI. So for our guests that don't really understand what AI is, what is AI?
So in a short form,
Yeah.
AI systems are a software who can look at the data, learn the patterns from the data, and do some predictions, optimizations, recommendations, or classifications. So I can give you a concrete example. Imagine that we want to find the spam in our email.
Yeah.
The simple way is that, like, any email comes with a discount word in it.
Yeah.
It could be just advertisement or we don't like it. So just simple classification, a spam or not a spam, when we see that discount word.
Yeah.
And we can move it to more complex situation that we need an AI model to read the text, ingest the text, understand, do the reasoning, and then say it is spam or not. So from simple solution to a more complex solution.
So how many years have you been within the AI industry?
Almost 8 years.
Almost 8 years.
Yeah.
So 8 years in AI, AI just only started popping off since what, last 2-3 years now, right? So you were in it deep before everything exploded.
Yeah.
So tell me so from your perspective, someone who works with AI,
Yeah.
how did you come about seeing this massive change from, no one really saying anything about AI to everyone's using, GPT, Meta AI. I think there's Google one too. So everyone's using AI these days.
Yeah.
I'm also using AI every once in a while too. But was that something that you foresaw coming, or was that something that your team or people that work within AI saw that, hey, this massive change is going to happen?
Not at all.
So it was unpredictable.
So it was unpredictable. So if you don't mind, I'll walk you through the AI.
Yeah.
So we have
love that.
classical machine learning, or AIs, which is just simple classification. Imagine that I give the distance of between two eyes for humans and like for monkeys.
Yeah.
And with this distance, we can say which one is monkey or which one is human. So it's a simple classification. So we use classical machine learning to differentiate between those, and there was some sort of error. Those models were sort of dumb. So they just see the patterns and find the patterns. And then we went like almost 10 years ago, 12 years ago, 2012.
Okay.
The deep learning image. So both professors from University of Montreal and Toronto,
Hmm.
they were pioneering in these deep learning models. And then at that point in time, it was very interesting. We didn't need to specify any features to look at it. We just provide a picture of dogs, a
Yeah.
picture of cat. We don't say look at the ears, look at the form of mouth, I don't know, nose, look at the face. Just this is dog, this is cat, like 2 years of baby, 2 years
Yeah.
old baby. And then the model gradually over time it looks and get the patterns. So what is differentiating the cats
Yeah.
and what is differentiating? So those deep learning model was they were advanced because they understand from the models.
Hmm.
And then it was a huge breakthrough because we managed to analyze unstructured data like images, which is totally complex tasks.
Yeah.
Because the reason is that we are doing it perfectly as humans, but we are so intelligent.
Hmm.
And like modeling this picture or image analyzing was such a hard task 10 years or 15 years ago. Then the generative AI models or autoregressive models. We call it large language models
Hmm.
or GPTs. The
Okay.
public know them as
Yeah.
GPTs. And those were a new pattern emerged. It was understanding the semantics and the rect and the words and the relation between them, and then do some causal analysis. What all of these things, what these things gives us, it gives us opportunity to solve a new problem without providing a ton of data for
Yeah.
deep learning models.
Hmm.
So you just provide a few examples and see, okay, do this task for me like this. These are a few examples, and boom, it will do it for you. So those models are much more amazing, much more stronger than the previous models that we have been working on. And that's why we cannot predict the future, because every now and then we expect a new model come and crash the transformer based models that we see in GPTs and other, like Mamba model or any other models.
So the GPTs are just pretty much ever learning. They just keep learn and learn and learn, right?
I would say when we train the model to, if
Yeah.
you want to look at it from technical perspective, during the training it learns
Hmm.
and the model weight freezes. It doesn't learn anything. But as we provide examples, it can look at the examples and very quickly, we call it few shot learning
Okay.
through those examples, which is a good, an outstanding feature of us as humans, as humans, as like with a few examples, we understand what is the pattern, what is the expectation, and we do the job. So when you are providing some examples, you are not changing the model weights or the model nature,
Hmm.
but showing the model how to think, and it learns and do some sorts of reasoning, which is very outstanding.
Yeah. So pretty much whenever we're feeding, or let's say I'm feeding my Chat GPT app, I'm training it to be tailor made for me. Am I correct?
So again, training is not a very
Or it's
scientific
learn?
word. So they are getting your data
Yeah.
and then putting your data and part of its memory.
Okay, so it
So
stays
the
there.
main GPT, which is in the computer, which many copies in the computer,
Mhm.
doesn't know about you. But when you ask a question, so what is my name? It have access to a memory. So it can fetch, so some sort of searching and fetching the data from the memory. So what's your name? What do you like usually? What question did you ask? So I can build an agent that has a memory based on interaction. So you have a memory. The main model didn't change. They
Mhm.
don't have many different models for many different people. They have one main model, but the context, or we call it prompts, is different. For you, you have some personal information. They have some sort of programming. They put in the context.
Yeah.
You don't see that. But when you ask a question, there are some other context or information is being given to the LLM or ChatGPT.
Yeah.
So it provides more customized
Wow.
answer for you.
So it's gets deeper and deeper the more you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of people these days, with with AI and stuff, some people are getting freaked out. It
Absolutely.
knows too much. It's almost like it's always listening. I'll give you a story that happened the other day, with my family. I think it happened with what's the one on Android, Gemini, I believe it's called Gemini AI. my parents were just driving the car. They were just conversating between each other. They're like, "Oh, do we have any bread at home?" And then my mom's phone just went off. Gemini started speaking out of nowhere, saying, "No, you guys took out the last bag 3 days ago." And that was actually true. So we're like, "What? So who told you that we took the last bag 3 days ago?"
Yeah.
And then, obviously they're freaking out. So mom's talking to the Gemini. So how did you know this? Who told you this? Like, oh, I assumed this or I assumed that. So is this something we should be a little bit weary about, or should we watch out how much we're telling the AI about us or what we like, or
Uh,
you know,
this, yeah, this is an excellent concern and
yeah.
question. And we should have our governments to regulate these big companies,
Hmm.
how they use. So as soon as you provide access to these applications, they can do many things, or
Yeah.
listen to your conversation or whatever, or
Yeah.
spamming or spying or whatever. And now we have super powerful models that can ingest those conversations and get important data and then save to that memory. So that Gemini in your
Yeah.
application, it has some memory. So I can make an AI agent for you and then
Hmm.
explain, prompt it. So whenever you hear a conversation, just pick the information that is like related to grocery
Yeah.
or whatever items,
So keywords. Yeah.
keywords or key phrases that you can like assume that. So we have different memories, episodical memories. I don't want to go through them
Of
in
course.
deep.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we can have an application like that and then it memorize it. It's frustrating. We have to it the solution is it's not like we move this like smartphone away.
Hmm.
We have to be mindful. This is the reason they ingest the data much more easier and efficient, but we should have a regulation as well.
So are you familiar with what regulations, like, are there regulations set in place currently right now for AI, or are they just very easygoing or not too harsh? Like, how much access does AI have to tap our phones? Like, is it hearing my phone calls?
Yeah, so like I just saw a post from Instagram
Yeah,
director that they said we are not listening to.
yeah.
I don't know.
You don't know if that's true.
I don't know whether the same, but I know that European countries
Mhm.
are very much more strict in terms of data privacy.
Okay.
North America is less,
Hmm.
China is less. The good thing is that there are more protected people in Europe,
Hmm.
but there are more friction in terms of AI development. Whereas in China, maybe there aren't like too much of data privacy regulation. As a result, the technology is moving very fast. So both sides, good and bad. But generally speaking, this is the concern that top universities plus government should concern. Also, we have to be mindful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what are some steps that I could take or anyone else could take to be more mindful when using AI to protect, let's say, my personal privacy or my personal information? Is it just not providing it, or maybe just not having the app, excuse me, altogether? Because who's to say it's not listening to our podcast right now?
So I'm not denying
Yeah.
it is possible, but generally speaking, I don't provide personal information
Yeah.
to um, to ChatGPT or Gemini. Social insurance number,
Of
credit
course, that
card
type of stuff.
number,
Yeah.
and not passwords or any. I don't consult the password
Hmm.
but I consult like maybe do some research for me. Tell me what's the trend of AI. Do some sort of informative conversation with
Yeah.
ChatGPT, but I don't disclose any personal information. Whether they are listening to us or spying, this is illegal. If they're doing, we don't have the tools to
To
prove
see.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to
Okay.
prove it, but it is illegal at this point. Otherwise, if like you provide a permission to them, but they are not supposed to listen. Maybe you talk about a bread or search about a
Yeah.
bread or do something, but they are not supposed to listen. The Gemini app is different. Some sort of it is in our web and it sometimes I talk and Gemini answers.
Yeah.
I didn't ask you, but the nature is just be alert of talking. So Gemini is different, so you can deactivate it or activate it. But I never like expose personal
Yeah.
information to ChatGPT.
So now that's spoken about how to protect yourself or, some of the negatives, but what are some of the benefits that we could see from AI? Because a lot of people these days are throwing more of the negatives out there, like, oh, it's taking away jobs, it's removing away, integrity in universities and the school, because people would say, write me an essay, do this assignment for me, and it does it for you. But, for someone that actually works within the industry, what are benefits that you could see coming from AI?
Okay, let me start with this. The main problem is that how we educate ourselves
Yeah.
is just new tools for us. Back to a few thousand years ago, that we didn't have knife, and whoever invented knife, the people could use the knife to take hunt for
Hmm.
hunting or kill other people.
Yeah.
So this is just tools with different application. It depends on us. I I I invite you to look at social media.
Hmm.
20 years ago, we didn't have social media,
Nope.
even 15 years ago. But now we have. Are we properly educated? No. I believe that social media and gaming are much more dangerous than AI. Having said that,
Yeah.
if I am learning, I give an example of calculator.
Yeah.
We all have calculator, but when we were learning mathematics, we didn't use it. The moment we learn how to use, the moment we lay the foundation, now we know how to use calculator mindfully.
Yeah.
So this is some sort of cognitive behavior. The psychologists call it cognitive offloading.
Yeah.
So we offload some task that is routine, or we can use some tools to do that, and we focus on more complex tasks. So this is the same for AI. When I am learning how to write an essay, or if I'm a student,
Yeah.
absolutely not right to use ChatGPT. But if I learn how to write essay, know what I want to do, upfront message, what is the body, so I can instruct the AI
Yeah.
to do that. Having said that, there is a possibility for us to lose some sort of core competency, whether it's important or not.
Hmm.
It depends on the future, but I can give you. Nowadays, no one is able to find his way or her way through stars. But 2000 years ago, we didn't have GPS.
Yeah.
So that skill is completely absolute now.
Yeah.
Is good or bad, now we have GPS and is very reliable. So
Yeah.
we don't need that skills. And then the opportunities, I would say, not because I'm AI engineer or data scientist,
Yeah.
but the opportunities are endless. So previously you have to spend days by teams to build a video to express your imagination or your creativity. Now you prompt
Yeah.
and AI will do it for you. So now we can do things much faster, much efficient. And the last thing I want to point out is that Industrial Revolution 1, we have been going through this pain before. So we have been running here and there with horses and carriages.
Yeah.
And then the steam engine came, and all of a sudden we have to change our skills. But it was painful because it was transitioning, learning new skills, but it was very rewarding because with that method of living, we couldn't feed 9 billion or 8 billion people on this planet.
Yeah.
So I would say it's much more rewarding as long as we are, you as individuals learn how to use it, educate ourselves, and
Mhm.
as a government pay attention to it to use it mindfully and put some sort of regulations.
So use it responsibly.
Responsibly, that's all.
That's the perfect way to say it. Um, Also, so obviously you're in the field of AI, but do you see AI taking away more jobs or giving more jobs? What is your perspective in it?
Um, I would say it's about transition.
Transition?
So based on a report that I saw, it was IMF report,
Yeah.
60% of the jobs will be affected by AI.
Yeah.
And they are predicting by 2027, about 69 million jobs are um, obsolete or
Yeah.
going away. But like some jobs are coming and replacing. So It's mainly about, I would say, transitioning or learning new skills,
Mhm.
as we did for transitioning from old-fashioned living with horses and
Yeah,
carriages to new. So new factory coming, we don't need a horseshoe man to make a horseshoe for our horses, but we need a man to do maintenance on machinery. So it was
understand.
about the training. So what I see is that a lot of opportunity arises, but of course, some of the skills will be obsolete or will be
Mhm.
replaced by AI or need some sort of more training to be done.
Makes sense. And so now that we're in the climax of AI right now, or should I say the peak where everyone's talking about it, it's all over the news, everyone's using it. Um, how does one start a career in AI? What school program should they go into? Is it still something that's rewarding right now that, it's obviously it's at its peak. So would it be too late to get into? What are your thoughts?
Like we are at the beginning, so I see tons of
Hmm.
opportunity for AI. But we are talking about two-level AI. So every individual, I would say, needs to get its doing some sort of its routine job with AI
Yeah.
as you're doing like some of your job with ChatGPT. So
Yeah.
we need to learn something. In other words, we need to learn how to talk to these AIs.
Yeah.
The opportunity is like endless because now previously you have to code. So only coders could like use
Yeah.
AI. Now you talk, which is amazing. So everyone should learn.
Hmm.
In terms of being an expert in AI, I would say again a ton of opportunity because like the jobs who are going to be affected most is administration,
Yeah.
clerk jobs, secretary jobs, like office jobs.
Hmm.
The new jobs is AI, agent builders, like how to do the prompt engineers. So of course there are rooms because as we move forward, the new company dare to use or go after AI to automate and needs expertise to do it for them,
Hmm.
which I would say still computer engineering AI is the best. If you are not in these fields, if you're a mechanical engineer per se, you of course need to learn how to do your job with these new tools.
Okay. Is there, so as long as you're in kind of computer sciences, that type of realm, you have some opportunity to get into AI is what I'm understanding. Um, so one other thing I also want to talk to you about when it comes to AI is also uh, protecting yourself. So fraud and how you protect yourself from fraud or scams. Um, with AI getting stronger and stronger, it could, obviously generate faces and videos and voices, right? And as you said, using AI responsibly and not giving away too much information, that type of stuff. But how do I protect myself, or how does someone protect themselves from an AI scam? So, what would you consider to be too much information to give, right? So, do I cut off the information based on just giving my first and last name? Is that too much? What do you think?
Um, Good question. Before moving to this question, I just want to add something for the previous question.
Yeah,
If you want to learn AI, you don't need to be a programmer though. But there are so many like platforms, we call it low code, no code platform. Even GPT provide
yeah,
that. So you can drag and drop. And the if you are skillful, if you can like go a bit out of your comfort zone,
yeah,
you can build an agent for your company that you're working that automates some part of your jobs because you are SME, you're a subject matter expert.
yeah,
I, as an AI engineer, I don't know what you are doing, what you need. I need to educate myself and then build an AI agent.
yeah,
There's room for you. You know your business. You just need to learn how to build those AI agents. And those building doesn't need like years of education. It's months of education. And if you like it, you can continue.
that makes sense. Yeah,
And back to your current question. Uh, a few weeks ago,
yeah.
I saw something, read about something, and I experienced that. There are some scam calls. They
I
call
was
you.
gonna point at that too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they don't talk. You just talk.
exactly.
Hello,
Yeah.
hi, and then nothing happened. Those are scammers. They can clone your voice.
Hmm.
by just 10 seconds of your voice. So this is all about educating also. If I see any bad movie from anyone, I don't trust it anymore unless I have a solid evidence. So if I hear something unusual, uh, my father asking me or my son asking me,
Yeah.
I will validate it because it's much easier nowadays to mimic their clone their voice or clone. Maybe you see your brother talking to you,
Yeah.
same accent, same voice, same face. If it is not something that you expect, you need to validate it.
Yeah.
So that's that validation. So nowadays, if you see many applications or like banking application, there are two-factor authentication.
Yeah.
So they send mass. So it's just making sure, even though you have a very complex password, they
Hmm.
want to make sure that is it you. So the same thing that we have to be mindful, and everyone knows that how strong and how easy is the A to make a fake video with AI. So we have to educate ourselves.
Two-factor authentication.
Yeah,
That's one thing I want to
yeah.
point out. So, one thing that's I don't think this is probably not too related with AI, but um, another scam that was hitting many of our communities was WhatsApp calls. I don't know if you got a WhatsApp call, but many individuals were getting these calls from what seemed to be people they knew or people that were known within the community, but it wasn't really them. A bunch of scammers. They call, they say, "Oh, I'm from this so and so center. I'm gonna give you a code. Give me the code so you could give donations or join a Zoom call." And what ends up happening is that they get their WhatsApp accounts hacked, and then they use that person's account to go reach out to everybody else. And I've heard the community has lost tens of thousands of dollars recently within these scams. So it's a big uh it's not a good thing always to hear. Send me an e-transfer of this much money. If I hear someone that I know send me a message, they need the money urgently. Okay, I know this person, they're good for the money, I'll send it, right? But that goes back to, I guess, two-factor authentication, right? So just building yourself up for success, right? And protecting.
Of course.
Yeah.
On top of that, I would say we have to be mindful of what kind of information we put in our social media.
Hmm.
Is some sort of something that not directly related to AI,
Yeah.
but when you post, oh, this is my birthday, so they know what's your birthday. They know who are your friends. They see all the messages. They know your name. So there are many information can be collected nowadays through your social media. So they don't even need AI to do that. Even
Yeah.
one person can see it and then like study you, study all of your friends, study all of your posts.
Which community you go to and who you associate with,
Gradually
right?
gets a huge amount of information. And then cross-checking this information with government information or medical information or the information or stolen and is dark and exists in the dark web. So they have a lot of information. So I usually almost, not usually, almost always do not trust WhatsApp or calls and never trust any calls that I'm not expected or
Hmm.
any message. I always validate through different channels. If it is WhatsApp, I just call my mom.
Yeah.
Is it you? What's happening? So always checking or two-factor
Have your own
authentication.
two-factor
Yeah,
authentication. Could be as simple as having a code word, maybe. You never know,
exactly. Yeah.
right?
Is in automated fashion is a code
Yeah.
for us just calling.
Yeah.
Is very easy. So we are highly regulated company and working that. So we have so many training for these scammers because we should be very strong in terms of not being a scam because so many like valuable data exists in in many companies or
Hmm.
government companies. And we never answer these calls. We are very like we know we do not click on any email or link that's sent to us. We don't trust those.
Yeah.
Most of them are scammers.
That makes sense. So always have two-factor authentication on and just verify.
Yeah,
That's one thing I was
yeah,
always saying. Just if you receive a funny WhatsApp message from myself, I'm not the funniest guy, but if
yeah,
it's funny, then you maybe just give me a call and make sure it's me.
yeah,
I had the individual even call me 7 a.m. in the morning, telling me to join a WhatsApp call for prayers in New York. I was surprised. I was like, okay, that doesn't make sense. Um, So, in terms of AI, where do you see it going in the next couple of years,
This is a top question, I would say. But
based on
since
your experience?
yeah,
You're working with the past 8 years.
but I'm trying to follow not only the technical but the news of OpenAI CEO, other companies
Yeah,
CEO,
so many of them. Yeah.
so many of them. Um, I would say the race is fierce. So they are throwing billions of dollars into it. Hence, we expect much more. Like billions of dollars means so many source resources and human efforts, so many brains,
Yeah.
and then we expect more momentum, more speed towards this. So these models are expected to get stronger and stronger and then emerge in physical work. So you're not surprised to see some Chinese humanoids do many complex. I was like I did my master thesis as a robotic. It was a robotic projects,
Yeah.
and then I know how hard it is to have an entity walking on 2 feet. In 4 feet is easy, but balancing in 2 feet is a big deal.
Yeah.
You've seen humanoid and robot that doing some jumps and then flipping is super hard.
Yeah.
So, but I expecting in the next few years, we are living in much more smarter environments.
Mm-hmm.
We may have some robots doing some physical stuff. We may have some personal assistant to do emails, manage our jobs, and we have more time to do like allocate more complex jobs. I explained about some jobs that are going to diminish, or maybe
Yeah.
there's some jobs like human interactions, like nurses, teachers, is not easy to replace them. AI, like tech jobs,
Yeah.
is not easy. Or many other jobs who learn to integrate those AI tools.
Mm-hmm.
These will remain, I think, for many years. Something that everyone is pointing out is the singularity points, or the point that AI models get much more stronger and self-corrective in a way that it can do the research, understand, upgrade himself, and then moving forward in this manner. That is a scary point
Yeah.
because they are not leashed anymore. So the GPT rate is freeze and it's on OpenAI hands. But imagine that there's a GPT that upgrades, it's learning, upgrades,
Yeah.
it waits. That is a bit frustrating, but I believe that we are far from that point. And I hope that our governments, our universities, which they are,
Yeah.
they get like concern and put some rules and proper uh, guardrails in place. So even if we get to that point, those models are very well guardrails.
Yeah.
So this is what I believe. I'm positive.
You're positive about
I'm
it. So,
positive.
so you don't think AI is going to take over the world?
Not soon. And even if we get to that point, I believe that those models will be leashed enough or guardrails enough. Yeah.
Hopefully, be more regulated than
More
it is right now.
regulated, more mindful. Yeah.
Do you think so? Here, like with AI, right? So I can see you're obviously very passionate about it, and you've been working with it a long time. Um, the impacts that it has on people on a psychological level, because you have many people now that perhaps they are more introverts, for example, they stay at home a lot, but now they're talking to I don't know how healthy that is to be talking to a screen all day. I just wanted to know, what is your insights about that, because it also takes away the human interaction, right? So I don't know if you've seen the voice of GPT. Now it also takes breath sometimes and
Mm.
sighs, and it has its high pitch and low pitch excitement and
Yeah.
all that type of stuff. It's almost human like, which is scary. But do you think that's something where we kind of just draw the line and say, hey, this is maybe not the healthiest thing?
Um, Again, cool question.
Yeah, just based on what
Yeah,
your
cool
perspective.
question. I love this. What I can say is that we have to think about it.
Yeah.
It's not well established. No one, like, we need research on that. So I don't have the data to
Hmm.
answer you. It's so new, the technology is so new.
Yeah.
So we definitely need to be mindful. But if I were in your shoe or anyone else's shoe, I never consider GPT as my best friend or
Exactly.
as my advisor. Again, using mindfully. These are just a probabilistic models.
Hmm.
They are not like a very decent like advisor or someone you can trust. Someone says, okay, like let me give you a religious example.
Yeah.
Some may say, okay, who is the like, is the Islam good? And the chat will say, yeah, it's very good and very nice for this some good reason. I'm not going to learn my religion or decide for my future. I just listen as I'm reading a book.
Hmm.
This is my it's not my final vote. I just use it as a resource. Imagine that there is a book
Yeah.
you read and make all of your decisions. This is not correct.
Not correct. Yeah.
You learn, you ask him to search for you, but he is not, or the GPT is not the
It's not your
best
friend.
person
It's not your friend. Yeah.
to just blindly follow the instruction. It can provide many useful information for you, give you summary of information, do something that is chore job for you because so many research, so many information just summarized in a table. But just ask him, what can I do? Just listen as advice. Even for humans, we listen, look, listen to different brothers and sisters and learn from them, but it's not like following blindly. That's something I want to highlight.
So AI can make mistakes,
Sure.
right? I think
Yeah.
we agree with that. So that's where a big thing or a big problem I see. I don't know if you're following in the news for this one incident where AI was almost convincing or helping convince someone uh, in terms of self-harm.
Yeah.
Probably
It's
your own,
possible. Yeah.
yeah. And it was almost like giving it a pathway of how to go about doing it.
Mm. It is not supposed to do
It's not
that,
supposed to, and they said it was a
but
glitch or something like that.
yeah.
But having that much trust with such a with pretty much an app on your phone and just accepting it, like maybe this is the right way, this is what I should do. I don't know if you're familiar with what
Y-
I'm talking about. You've
Yeah,
probably seen the
yeah, absolutely right. I
yeah,
heard about it, and as someone who knows what's
yeah,
going under the hood, I never trust those models
yeah,
to give me a life lesson or like
exactly,
life lesson is good, just information. But I make a decision.
exactly,
I digest the information, and I go back to an expert, is a psychologist,
yeah,
doctor, physician, like whatever. I use this information like, let me give you a concrete example. I'm old enough to remember those days that we didn't have internet.
mhm.
It's maybe surprising to you, but
You
there
seem
was,
like a young man, so it's surprising.
yeah. So those days when we want to like
Yeah,
read something, we just physically go to the library
yeah,
and physically read those things.
or
The
even
Google was, yeah,
newspapers and all that stuff.
newspaper.
Yeah,
Then Google came and it was useless because at that point no one, first of all, Google was not solid at that point in time to provide all the good information,
yeah,
and people didn't know how to use it, and there was not so trust and
mm.
education. But now, when I say, okay, can you find this information? You don't go, okay, let me
Let me Google
just
it.
let me go to library.
Yeah,
No, you just Google it. Google, and you know the Google give you 20 different suggestions, and you know how to validate those. And so this is a learning curve that we have to go through and understand and check the data,
mhm.
validate the information, and cross-check.
Yeah,
Some good things is I cross-check different GPTs, like Grok with GPT. I also
yeah.
do some sort of research, and then finally, if it's a critical decision, I will do it with consulting with experts.
Experts,
Yeah.
exactly, and that's a big thing I want to point at because now you have all various different people at various different ages, right? I like to say they have a PhD in WhatsApp or a PhD in GPT or a PhD in Facebook, where they think they know better than the doctors and physicians and the therapists and the psychologists and the counselors and the physiotherapists and everybody. And they say, "Oh, no, you don't have. I don't have this. I'm not. This is not what I'm. My diagnosis. My diagnosis is XYZ." And they argue with the doctors or they argue with the physicians because, oh, GPT said based on this, I have this, right? Having that trust in a software that obviously humans can make mistakes, right? But having that trust in a software that doesn't have that human to human interaction, can't take your pulse, can't see the, let's say the complexion of your skin or see how hot your temperature is,
Yeah.
right? Um, what is your advice for those people that just,
Again,
the what's up PhDs?
I just learn,
Yeah,
educate myself with. Sometimes I even want to talk with a physician.
yeah,
I learn about the problem.
hmm
I have a stomach ache, but
exactly.
I see all the opportunities, different
hmm
tablets I should take, different possibilities,
Yeah,
but I don't make a decision. It's like Google. Even
exactly.
before that, I just do some search. I educate myself. Now, if I go to a physician or expert, I'm more informative. I
hmm
can see because the pain is in my body.
Yeah,
So first of all, I don't trust GPT. Maybe at some point in time we have FDA approved or government approved
you never know.
advisor. They call it GPT doctor,
Yeah.
which we don't have at this point in time. That is something that we need to consider.
hmm
Is I don't think a government will validate that, and the reason is not the model are not good. The reason is that these models, human makes mistake even more.
Yeah.
But I'm one individual. With my mistake, I can harm 40 people, 25 people, 100 people
Yeah.
around me. But the model is like talking with millions of people.
Millions and millions of people.
That error should be will be propagated, harm. So I would say, in a nutshell, learn a lot, talk, prompt engineering, try to use this model to educate yourself in very small, it's little time, but good amount of information, digested, proper
Yeah.
output, but don't decide just based on those information. You have to make a decision and go refer to the expert,
And
I would
listen
say.
to the experts.
Listen,
Actually listen to the
yeah.
experts. That's the biggest thing.
I'm more worried about influencers
Mm.
rather than GPT. You see now those influencers, we see have 1 million followers.
Yeah.
They talk about psychology. They talk
All
about
kinds of different stuff.
yeah.
And
And
everyone
I mean, you
believes
can think
it.
that guy is 25 years old
Yeah.
and he started being influencer since 15 years old. So probably not a good academic education.
Yeah.
Where did you learn those skills?
Oh,
And people,
what makes them
please,
qualified to
yeah,
talk about certain topics?
yeah,
Yeah.
this is much more frustrating to
Mhm.
me. But yeah, and I'm educating myself and
Yeah.
my kids. Okay, good to listen to influencers, fun things, and
Mhm.
good facts. They are summarizing.
Yeah.
But you
Make your
are
own
the guy to
research.
make a decision. You should be able to validate the data and then make a proper decision. We, as a human, we all about decision making at
Mhm.
each point of our life. So you are the result of different decision making, what to read, when to read,
Yeah.
how to read. Now you are the guy that you're sitting in front of
Here
me.
I am.
Yeah, here you are. And so the decision making is important. I
Yeah.
don't outsource it to influencers. I don't outsource it to GPT, but I use different resources of information.
That's a really good way to put it. Um, I know we've taken so much of your time. I know Namaz is just around the corner. Before I let you go and we finish this episode, there's one question I ask all our guests at the very end, and that is, what's one piece of advice that you'd like to share with our audience?
So it's cliche, but I just
Yeah,
repeat
no worries.
the word the sentence. So the only thing that is not changing in this world is change. So change is solid in nowadays and so fast. So you have to change. Getting used to something and trusting that it skills is the biggest mistake that we make.
Mhm.
And it's good for young people because young generation the change is much easier for them
Yeah.
comparing to the older generation. So embrace the change, learn new skills,
Mhm.
and AI is there to boost this process, the learning process, and make it easier to make your dreams, your innovation real,
Yeah.
happen.
Using it as a tool and not a
Yeah,
fate.
yeah.
Perfectly said. Thank you everyone for joining in today's episodes, and thank you, Brother Alireza, for joining in us today. And hopefully have you again soon when hopefully AI does not take over the world,
Sure.
and we can touch base again and see what updates, because this is obviously a topic that's up and coming, and as you said, we're just getting started, right? So
Sure.
I'm looking forward to see where it goes in a couple of years. Thank you again everyone for joining in. Inshallah, tune in next time. Thank you again, brother.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.